welcome back to the channel. My name's Paul.
I'm Sandra.
And this is Magic Holidays. And in today's video, we're going to install a new reversing camera. So the only problem when we picked this van up was the reversing camera was working, not very well. It was full of water, so that needed replacing. So that's what we're going to do today, aren't we?
We are. Well, Paul is.
Hopefully. So that's what we're going to do today. So keep watching and we'll see you all later. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the kit that we bought. So it was from Amazon. It's the Motorhome and commercial dual rear camera. So it's a 2-camera system, where our motorhome has only got a single one. Now, because of that, we're not wiring it into the head unit that's in this motorhome. We've got the reversing camera in the mirror version. So so that goes up on the mirror. I'll show you that in a second. It comes as a complete kit, but I've changed it a little bit because I don't want to run AV cable from front to back and power cable. I don't want to get power from up the top of the motorhome, because I mean I'd have to get it from the light, and it's not really accessible. It's not quite easy to get to. So I've purchased an extension cable, which is 5-pin extension cable, and then that way I only need to run 1 cable or 2 cables from front to back, so 1 for each camera, which will make the install a lot easier, I'm hoping. So let's just have a quick look at the mirror. Let's show you that. Okay, so the reversing mirror, it's a nice size. Shows you can have a complete rear view mirror, so it gives you the camera view straight out the back of the motorhome, or you press the button and then that gives you a down view as well. So that's the one we've gone with. You've got a couple of meters of install cable that runs, and we're going to run round the front window screen, hide all that cable up, do that proper install, and it comes with all the towels and everything else that you need to wire this in with. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you where I'm going to put it, and we'll have a little look at the possible areas that's going to be a real pain in the arse to fit. So let's have a quick look at those. Okay, so let's just have a quick look outside here. So this is the reversing camera that we've got at the moment, and like I say, it is just about working. So that's the one we're going to replace. We're going to take that off and put the double vision right there. Now the only problem with that is getting the cables from up there to the inside. Now I've already looked, and that cable runs to the inside of the cupboard, right along to this corner and down inside the cupboard. Let's go and have a quick look at that. Okay, so this is the corner cupboard in the rear of the caravan. Now there's a grey cable up there. Now that is the one we think the reversing camera is on. So that's the one we're going to use to pull the other cables through. Now that cable comes running there, a bit of trunking, and goes behind this window, and then we lose it once it goes behind the fridge over here. So I'm not going to try and take it that route, because I don't think we're going to be able to pull it right the way through. So the route we've decided to take is get the cables into this room, into this cupboard, and then come down through this cupboard all the way down to the bottom, and then we're going to go into the garage, through the garage, underneath the motorhome, then along the chassis, right the way along the chassis, right the way up to the front, and we'll have a look at the front where we're going to install that in a minute. Okay, so now we're at the front of the vehicle, and the cables should run right the way along underneath on the chassis, right the way underneath here into this step, into the door pocket well. We're going to just remove this. We're going to remove this trim here, and we're going to get up underneath this panel here where we're going to do all our wiring. So there is already some wires in here, one for the radio head and all that sort of stuff is in there as well. So there's going to be power underneath here, which shouldn't be too bad, should be easy to pick up somewhere. If not, across the other side I've got the fuse box on the other side of the vehicle. I've got some cable to run from over there on a fuse right the way across and then over to this side, and we can run it underneath here, and then we will be able to install it that way. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Let's see how we get on. Catch you all in a bit. Okay, so we're just going to remove this camera. So there's a couple of little Allen keys either side to do that. Just there, just take that out, just like that, nice and easy. Put down. So yeah, so then once you've replaced, once you've done the other side, then the reversing camera then will come out of its mount. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so the camera's out, and now you can see we have now got the cable there. So I'm going to use that cable to pull the new cables through inside to the cupboard. So I've got to just take these off, remove this. Now my only thing is this cable definitely has to be the one that's in that cupboard, and also this hole may have to be made a little bit bigger. So we'll look at that in a minute and just see. Let's just check this cable out first, see what's going on, because if that cable is not the one that's inside that cupboard, then we're not going to be able to do it anyway. Okay.
So Paul, what are you doing?
Just finishing off this little bit up this end. So we've put the new camera up, gone over the same holes that were there, kept that neat. So we've not made any new holes. So that was good. This is just the light shield now, I think, if I can get it on.
Put them the wrong way.
Yeah, probably is. Clever clubs. Right.
So pretty straightforward so far?
Yes and no. So it's been okay. I knew there were going to be some problems. It weren't just going to go straight replacement. So we'll go into that in a little while. But yeah, so far so good. That bit looks good.
It's not been swearing, so
yeah,
something must be positive.
yeah, no cursing. Mind you though, I do think it's time for a drink of some kind, because it is absolutely roasting out here. I think we've picked the hottest day of the year to do this. We should be away,
Yeah,
shouldn't we?
we should.
Should have gone away this weekend. Never mind. Never mind. Next weekend. Well, there's a new camera up there. So we've just gone behind that panel, right up into that corner, and then gone into the wardrobe section. Couldn't get that panel off, and we couldn't pull that cable back through. Just no way that cable was coming through there, so we had to go to plan B, but it's there, it's up, and it's looking good. So let's move on, next bit. Okay, so we've got the cables from the outside of the camera, and now we're in the cupboard, and we've gone down to the bottom of the cupboard, and then we're down into the garage. So that's the easy bit. I think it will look better with a white cable trunking going down the back there, make that look a little bit neater as well. I'll have to get some of that tomorrow, I think, and put that on there, and then once that goes on, I'll show you how that looks then. But yeah, pleased with that so far. And now we're into the garage, so let's go and have a quick look at that. Put the conduit in, hide all those cables up in the back of this cupboard. Looks really neat. There we go. That's really nice. Good job done. And there you go. All the shelves back in. So this is where we've come down into the garage. As you can see, right in the corner. And then I'll put a little bit of trunking down, come down there. I'm just going to whip this light cluster off, and then tuck the cable behind the light cluster, and then hopefully go down through the garage corner. There's all mastic underneath there, so it should just be a matter of popping that out, putting the cables through and then resealing it up. So yeah, so that's the garage view. This is the easy bit really, getting it down through here and running it underneath, but we'll have a look as I do that and I'll show you cable tying it all through. See you in a minute.
Right, what are you doing?
Right, okay, so we've come down through the garage and now we're underneath, and we're going to run our 2 cables from the back of the van right along the chassis right to the front, and I'll show you now where we've come through and how we're going to get there. So hopefully you can see, 'cause it's a bit close. We've come through here and then we're going to go along here. There's trunking already here, so we're going to go through the trunking and right the way down there, which I'm already there, and then my cables are coming out of the trunking here. We're going to go onto the chassis, over, and we're just going to follow these cables right the way up the other end of the van. We're going to come up hopefully in the front wheel arch. So let's pull that along and show you how we get on. Alright, so we've come over here. I hope you can see all this. Over here we've cable tied it all up nice and neat, and we've gone right up to the rear axle, and we're going to go over the axle again. Plenty of cable ties, keep it all neat all the way along. It's looking really good. See you in a minute. Okay, so the cables now from the back axle there coming along, all neat and tidy, all cable tied up, just following all the trunking along, right along here, and then right here, right behind the heat shield, so we're all tucked away from the exhaust. Where are we? There we go. Tucked away from the exhaust with all the other cables. That looks good. And then here, and I think that grubber right there is where I'm going to go into the footwell. So let's go and find out where that goes, make sure that's right. Okay, so here we are at the front of the cab. Now we've got to take off this footwell. So we've undone the what was it, 4 bolts, 4 screws at the top, 3 screws in the foot hole. That one comes off. You've got to remove this side panel first, which is just in here, and loosen up these screws so we can get access to this panel. And now we're in the footwell. As you can see, I've took the battery cover off as well, just to see what we've got here and how we're going to chase these cables through. So that's looking all okay. So the plan is, remember, the mirror's up the top there. We're going to bring the cable across and then down here, down this section, and then into here, and we'll pick up all our cables and everything from here. We'll run and hide all our power cable, earth cable, AV cable, all here somewhere. Here we go. Let's do that. I'll show you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we've clipped the mirror on, and then we've tucked the cable up underneath the trim here, down at that corner, and now we're behind this stanchion here, just behind all this rubber and trim. That went in easy, just all back down here, and now we're just here, just finishing up, getting back down, coming underneath here. There's a big trim here, so this just all goes underneath here, and then we'll make all our connections all down here hopefully. That's it, that's looking good. A little bit of mucking about there because it was tight up this end, but other than that, that went in quite easy. And yeah, so it's looking good. So this second part is really good here, really. All I need to do now is pick up 12 volt supply and earth, wire that all in. I've got some Wagyu boxes, Wagyu clips to do all the joining, so they're all okay. I've got a little bit of extra cable as well, just in case I need to extend any of the cables. And hopefully that'll all go smoothly. Alright, let's crack on. Okay, so we've got the power and the AV cable in. the best way into the cab that I found was through the battery compartment. That had a nice great big grommet on it, so I could bring the cable in through there and then just run it round down to here. Tidied up all the cable. I need to put some touch tape over here so these joints don't come apart. But we're nearly there. I need a 12-volt supply, which I think I'm going to be getting from the other side on the fuse box. There is a fuse way there, but I think that's going to be too heavy for what we need, so I'm just going to bring it over from the other side underneath here and then back down into here. So we're nearly done. So took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. Climbing underneath the motorhome was a bit of a pain, trying to put all the cable ties on, keep all the cables neat and tidy, but it's pretty much done, so I'm pleased with that, because I did think it was going to take a good 2 days, and I'm pretty much done today. So I've got tomorrow as well to muck around, which I will finish off probably tomorrow, I think. See how we go. Oh, here we go. See you in a bit. Okay, so our lives are in. I've brought a new live cable over from the other side. I'll show you that in a second. Just use the Wahoo boxes. Do the joining. They're nice and easy. A couple of them there, one for the earth and then one for the lives here, like that. Bit of cable left over, but I've just tidied that up. That's just neat and tidy. All this just I'll tidy this up in a minute and put all this behind the step, so that's that done. Battery compartment's all back in. The cable is all tucked away under the dash. We've got cover to go back on here in a second, so we'll have to do that in a minute. And let's just go around and have a look at the fuse board. So there's my fuse panel. There's the new fuse that we've put in. Again, I've just used a little Wahoo connector just to jump over for the cable and put it all up along the back there, and that's the job done. So it's all on, all power. It should be on the key, so it's not live now, so it's looking good. Turn the key on and the reversing camera comes up. So that is, I'm not sure what it looks, oh, that's the down view, and then the AV for the second view is the reversing section. That would be the reverse, that's be your rear view mirror, and that will be how close you are. Just needs a little bit of adjustment there on that camera, but other than that, all working. Well, amazing. What do you think, Sandra?
Wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed actually. It's working first time.
Considering last week I dropped a camera and burnt the Ridge Monkey. Yeah. Not bad. I've installed that and not damaged anything.
No. Well, if you have, you haven't told me.
Oh yeah, there's no need for that, is there? Yeah, so an afternoon's work for a, well, no, about a day's work, I suppose. Yeah. A day's work to install that reversing camera. And what I'll do, I'll put some links in the description of what we bought and how we done it. And I might take a few little photos as well. Yes. See how we get on with that. But yeah, so really pleased with it.
We done well, didn't we?
What do you mean we?
You just said we.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, you pass me the clippers and, you know, and cable ties, the important bit, because you can't do it without that. Couldn't do it without the cable ties and the clippers. But yeah, that was hopefully a good little install, that. So I had it in my head how we was going to do it.
It's a nice
I had to change the plan. It is a nice screen, isn't it? Mm. That'd be nice to see what it looks like when we come out of where there's a little bit more light in the back there. It's shining straight into a dark warehouse, isn't it? So there we go. So let's see how we get on. Let's put everything back together, all the floor panels on, and I'll catch you all in a bit. Okay, so there's all the wiring just tucked away neatly now, all behind that footwell. I'm just going to quick hoover around and then put all the footwell back together. Job done. There we go. All the footwells back in. All the sides all back in. No rattles. All the panels are there. There we go. Cable tight. Job done. Perfect. Like I say, nearly not quite a full day's worth of work, but well worth the effort. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with that, how it come out. All working fine, so I just need a little bit of adjustment up on the back mirror, back camera. Aim them down a little bit. Yeah, and then it's all done. It's just a shame that we did it probably on the hottest day of the year so far. So instead of being away for the weekend, we were stuck in our car park. Never mind. Next week we're looking to be away, so stay with us and we'll all see you next week. See you later.